I'm gonna start. Okay, we're recording. Dino Thunder, power up! Ha! We're only joking. Hello, everyone. Today we are live, and I am doing Talk About Show episode 6. Been a while since we did one of these things, but since we are a bunch of unexperienced little kids, I'm only joking. We're men. Well, these two are men, and hopefully the other people will join. Um, so we are going live. Well, we're not live, but talk about show episode 6. I don't know why I didn't do any of these for 3 months. I just didn't get. Well, actually 4 months since December, but I just didn't never got around to it. So
Oh,
today
it's
I
fine.
am with Harry Thomas Pictures, Iron Bat 1993, and myself included. And today we're going to be talking about the new Pixar film Onward, new DreamWorks movie Trolls 2: The World Tour. That's what I like to call it. Just sounds more catchy. The Bad Boys trilogy, which includes Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys 3, aka Bad Boys for Life, and a very, very, very nostalgic childhood classic of mine, that being Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Yes, I am going to I'm going to give the mic over to Harry. And Harry, would you please, pretty fucking please, give us your thoughts on Onward?
With pleasure, Lee. Well, Onward is Pixar's most imaginative and heartfelt movie in years. Finally, in the 2020s decade, they are returning to original material and saying goodbye to sequels. I mean, I wish we'd gotten Onward last year, to be honest, instead of Toy Story 4. Then Onward wouldn't have had to have been removed from cinemas. It would have done far better, and
And
yeah,
it would
this
have been more Oscar worthy.
well, exactly. I mean, I would rather Onward was nominated for that Oscar than Toy Story 4 any day. I mean, at least, but at least the people who have seen Onward have loved it, and I'm one of them. Yeah, I mean, this is a personal story for director Dan Scanlon. I mean, Pixar directors do often base their movies off of personal experience, like how Pete Docter based Inside Out on his daughter. He thought, what's going on inside her head? And now Dan Scanlon, well, he lost his father at a young age, so that's where he got the inspiration for Onward. You know, what the idea? What if you could spend just one day with your deceased father? And yeah, and what's awesome is that we get Spider-Man and Star-Lord in a Pixar movie. Finally, yeah. I mean, Tom Holland and Chris Pratt both nail the two elf brothers, Ian and Barley Lightfoot, who are the male versions of Elsa and Anna from Frozen. And yeah, I like Ian is he's similar to he's a similar character to Peter Parker in that he's this socially awkward kid at his high school, and he never met his father, so he's the one who's most eager to meet all of his dads by the end of the movie. And
Actually,
I
Harry,
and I
sorry to
adore.
interrupt, but do you think Ian is kind of like an animated version of the Tom Holland Peter Parker? Like when you watch him, it's kind of like you're watching an animated version of Peter Parker, just his voice is there. Like the way he's so nervous and all that, like kind of like how he is in the Tom Holland Spider-Man duology.
Well, yeah, he's exactly like the Tom Holland Peter Parker, just the animated version. In it's just well, yeah, as you say, we just hear his voice, but yeah, exact same characteristics, and I adore the world this movie takes place in. Pixar are experts at transporting you to worlds beyond your imagination, like the world in like Monstropolis in Monsters Inc. and the land of the dead in Coco, and this world is no exception. I mean, it's just modernizing fantasy, a world that once depended on magic now has evolved into a it now depends on technology, and yeah, literally unicorns are raccoons and dragons are dogs. Yeah, it's so awesome, and I love that the female characters in this movie are thankfully not sidelined. The mum is thankfully in the movie more than you'd think she'd be. Laurel, yeah, I mean, after the brothers go on the quest to bring back the rest of their father, she gets her own storyline where she sets off after them with the help of my favorite character in the movie, Octavia Spencer's the Manticore. She totally steals the show, and yeah, her diner was my favorite location in the movie, and yeah, and the ending brings out all the emotions the Pixar classic shows, and it was a shocking twister that that Barley was the one to say goodbye to the father, and Ian didn't. I mean, that was a ballsy message. It was Ian's coming of age story of realizing he may not have had a dad, but but Barley was the closest thing to a father that he had, and and all and although if I did have one flaw with this movie, I do think it could have had more of a villain because Pixar haven't had a great villain since the Screenslaver in Incredibles 2, and this movie, the closest thing we get to a villain is this dragon in the climax, but that's it. I do think the villain could have had been more prominent in the story, but other than that, yeah, right. I mean, Onwards, I think will it's easily the best animated movie of 2020. No contest, I I think Soul looks just all right, but we'll see. Only time will tell if it can live up to or top Onward. But yeah, I loved Onward, I and Dan Scanlon has now given us two awesome Pixar movies, both Monsters University and now Onward. So I rate Onward a 9 out of 10 and 4 stars out of 5.
Awesome. Yeah. So Iron Bat, would you like to give? I don't know if you've seen it, but like, would you like to give your thoughts on Onward, like judging by a trailer, or your actual thoughts on the movie if you have seen it?
I haven't seen the movie yet. Just haven't gotten around to it. The but I do want to just touch on a few things that Harry was talking about. So, because one of my big concerns for this movie, especially, is that yeah, we are watching Spider-Man and Star-Lord on screen instead of these characters. So I don't. I'm just trying to figure out if it's like worth it in the end. With the way it's been marketed, I don't really see a reason. But either way, you know. And I wanted to ask you, Harry, specifically because you had opened with it's the most imaginative and heartfelt, I guess, since Coco, because that was like 2 years ago. So just pointing that one out there. But either way, you know, I might check it out. I'm warming up to it. I just need to give it a good watch.
Well, so okay. I'll give my thoughts on Onward. Yeah. I have to say, I was when I first saw the teaser trailer. Okay. So, sorry. Excuse me. Uh, so pretty much, for the most part, I pretty much agree with Harry. In fact, I 100% agree with him. This movie is awesome. It's great. It's a really good Pixar film. It's really original. The teaser trailer looked fine. It just didn't seem like my kind of movie. It just seemed very odd. I just didn't like the style of it. And it just seemed a bit. It seemed a little like not really kiddie, but like very like I don't know, but like that was just a teaser. The actual trailers made me look, excited for it. But I did have one reason to see it. I love Tom Holland. I adored Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. Far From Home was my favorite live-action film. But well, going into Onward, I was excited. I thought, it could be a great film. Saw it on Friday night after school. I went at 7:30, 7:30 p.m., and it was before cinemas were shut down because of the coronavirus. I went by myself. It was a lovely night. There was barely any people in the screening. There was only like 5 people, and it was a lovely night. Like, it was beautiful, just sitting in the cinema, like at the very top. But watching the movie, I really loved it on first viewing, and then I went to see it a second time with my good friend Tig. He asked me if I'd like to see Onward with him, and I then said, absolutely, I'd love to go see Onward with you. And I went to see it again, and on second viewing, I then said, wow, that was even better than I remembered. I really love the storyline. It's got a good balance of like maturity, comedy, the ingredients to make a good animated movie, in my opinion. Better than how Boss Baby does it, but obviously, well, we all know my thoughts on the Boss Baby. But I like how it executed the Brotherhood storyline. I think when you say it's kind of the male version of Anna and Elsa, not really. I mean, true, they're both brothers, but like, it's not like Barley was like turned evil. Like, it's not like he he wanted to stay away from Ian, and then maybe if like Barley like stayed away from Ian, I think maybe I'd see it. But like, I can see it having the mentality of that kind of relationship that they have. But I think if like Barley like was like stayed away from like Ian, then maybe I'd see where you're coming from. But I can't see the similarities. But other than that, I really like the characters. Barley is really good. Ian, I love. I find him very relatable even, and I think I love the scene where spoiler alert to people who haven't seen it, but there's a scene. Oh yeah, I forgot Ironbat is in the chat. Oh crap.
That's
I'll
alright.
try not to.
Yo, you can do it. I don't care. It's
Okay.
fine. You can do it. I don't care.
All right. Don't be cheeky. But there's one scene where he's like looking at the recording of his dad. It actually was so close to making me cry. It was so damn close to making me cry. And the ending, it's very, very emotional. And and as for Laurel, the mother, she's good. I do feel she's kind of just a generic mother. Like, I do agree, I like how she's actually involved with the plot, but she's kind of the cliche. Oh, I don't want my kids going after some dangerous thing. It's just very. I've seen that kind of character before. I like how she's written. I just think she's just way too. I've seen that character in loads of things, millions of times before. But other than that, I really, really
Finding
like.
Nemo, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I really like the character. The Manticore, she's okay. I don't know. I just didn't really have a lot to say about the husband of Laurel. Yeah, he's fun. He's funny. I thought he was funny enough. I actually talking about the movie makes me want to rewatch it. It's online, so may as well give it a rewatch. I liked the oh god, Laurel's. What was Laurel's husband name? Oh, Jesus Christ. What was Laurel's husband name again?
I don't remember, but he was the centaur cop. But for me, he was the most pointless character in the movie.
Yeah, well, in your opinion, Harry, what made him pointless?
Well, he just felt like he was there to show that Laurel was moving on from her previous husband. Other than that, so I mean, he served no purpose for me.
Oh, well, yeah, thinking about it, yeah, he doesn't really. He's funny. Like, would you say he's a good character even though he doesn't serve a purpose?
Yeah, I guess he's still a fun character overall.
But I mean, like, you could say for like side characters for a lot of films, they might be pointless,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, they're still good. But yeah, he was funny. The little guys. I don't have much to say about the other characters. And the animation I really like. It's very colorful. It's vibrant. Easily Pixar's best looking movie. I think it's really, really I think it's really good. I do think the character designs could have fitted better with the backgrounds because the backgrounds are very, realistic. It just felt a bit weird to have like different species of characters to exist in that kind of world. I just wish they made the animation look a bit more suitable for that species. It's not really a flaw, but I just feel they could have maybe fixed that. But other than that, the animation is like beautiful. It's gorgeous to look at. The music's really good. I like the end credit song. I do like the ending, but I just don't like how it was executed. I just think they should have done a twist. I just think because the rest of the movie was building up to that moment, and it just feels like they didn't quite do the moment the way you think. Yes, it was a plot twist to avoid predictability, where you just go, oh, the movie's gonna go the Jesus Christ, I keep talking quick. The movie's gonna go the predictable route, but it's like a twist. Like, oh, you thought this was gonna happen? Well, you're fucking wrong. And then this obviously happens, but it's a nice ending. Like, I like the final shot. It's very beautiful, and I think Onward stands well as a standalone movie. It sucks that it's flopping at the box office, and I can see why Pixar put it on Disney Plus. I don't know if it's on Disney Plus in the UK and Ireland. I can't say. I don't have Disney Plus. Harry Thomas has Disney Plus. I think. Wait, Nick, do you have Disney Plus? Nick, you there? Hello? Uh, oh, alright, sorry, but for some
Oh,
reason,
I don't think he's on, but yeah,
he's
I
on
have
mute.
Disney Plus, yeah, but I still need to check if Onward is on the UK version of Disney Plus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my sister has it, but yeah. I don't have much to say about Onward because I can't remember a lot of it. Like I remember like most of it. I just need to like I'd need to watch it again to actually remember the whole thing because it's kind of hard for me to digest a film to remember every single scene if you get what I'm talking about. Um, but other than that, excuse me. I really like the film. It's wonderful. It's nice. It sucks that it's bombing, but hey, it is understandable. Like, obviously because of the COVID-19. I think Pixar did a good job. Much better than what they did last year. That's for sure. Puts that movie to absolute shame. I'm sorry to people that loved it, but I just didn't. But yeah, I'm going to give Onward a very strong 9 out of 10. I originally gave it an 8, but on second viewing, I loved it even more, so 9 out of 10. Okay, so, um, next movie, Trolls 2, or Trolls World Tour, or as I like to call it, Trolls 2, the World Tour. It just sounds catchy. Harry, would you like to give your thoughts on Trolls 2?
Oh, certainly. Trolls World Tour. Well, yeah. It sucks that Trolls World Tour didn't get a cinematic release this month. I mean, but we were lucky enough to check it out on digital. I mean, fingers crossed, it will get a cinematic release when the coronavirus and has gone and the lockdown has lifted. But yeah, Trolls World Tour was one of my least anticipated movies this year because the first Trolls is one of DreamWorks' worst. I'm sorry, I mean, why not make a Rise of the Guardian sequel instead of Trolls sequel? I mean, and of all the movies to promote DreamWorks' 25th anniversary, they picked Trolls 2. But surprisingly, Trolls World Tour is a step up from the first Trolls. Yeah, an unexpected surprise in that, but saying that it's still freaking meh, and it's easily one of DreamWorks' weaker sequels. It's not even closer to Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda 2 or 3, and certainly not How to Train Your Dragon 2 or 3. And but yeah, I mean, at least the character of Queen Barb, she's pretty cool. She's literally the troll version of Thanos. She has a Infinity Gauntlet like guitar that can collect every single style of music, and I love her journey to realize, well, to learn to accept and be open to other forms of music besides rock. And uh, and I did like Poppy a little better in this movie. I mean, I may be a bias to Anna Kendrick. I mean, it helps being voiced that she's voiced by Becca from the Pitch Perfect trilogy, so she has a naturally talented singing voice. But yeah, I do like that Poppy was the one that was willing to give Queen Barb
Sorry,
a
but you're
chance.
saying Bobby, it's Poppy.
Poppy, sorry, yeah. I do like that Poppy was the one willing to give Queen Barb a chance when everybody else was not. And yeah, I did laugh at 50% of the jokes this time, like with Glissa splurting out in an invitation. That's a far better punchline than a character farting out cupcakes or farting out Glissa like they did in the first movie. So at least they upped the game with the comedy in this one. But yeah, this but this movie has no stakes to it like the first Trolls. It's the conflict is literally a rock concert. There's nothing threatening
Are
about
you
that.
saying Trolls is dark?
Well, well, no, I mean, well, I mean, I don't. I didn't. I mean, I don't. I didn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't think a Trolls movie would be darker, but I'd at least want the conflict to be, well, more of a threat than just a rock concert. I mean, that's just an excuse for more pop songs, and the pop songs, just like the first movie, get repetitive and get on your nerve fast. And the supporting cast in the
The
different
song,
troll
the one
worlds.
pop, the pop, I think the pop song where it was with the giraffe trolls. Spoiler alert, was the best song. I like that song. That was pretty good.
Well, yeah, yeah. That's. I guess that song was all right, but yeah, I think, I still think the movie was overcrowded with pop songs, and it takes for freaking ever for Poppy to meet up with Queen Barb. I mean, sure they were building up to it, but the build up went on a little too long for me. And also. This movie rips off other and better DreamWorks movies. Like it rips off How to Train Your Dragon 2, like with the when Hiccup wanted to reason with Drago and everybody was warning him about it. It's the exact same with thing with Poppy. Everybody's warning her about Queen Barb, but she doesn't listen.
The reason
And
Barb kills music without reason.
oh, oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this movie has cliches I thought DreamWorks would have learnt of not to put in their movies by now, like the cliched fallout scene between Poppy and Branch. I mean, and and yeah, it's I though and also James Corden's character I don't think needed to return from this movie because I'm sick of James Corden just starring in in everything. I mean, why is James Corden, Justin Timberlake are always in bad movies? First Shrek the Furs, and then the Emoji Movie, then Peter Rabbit, then Smallfoot. But at least this is the most watchable movie that James Corden has ever starred
Oh,
in. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, Trolls World Tour is not the worst DreamWorks sequel. That would still be Shrek the Third, but it would be my second least favorite. And I mean, no, no offense, Rumpelstiltskin or Walt Dawn, but you can do better as a director at DreamWorks. So yeah, I am I am going to rate Trolls World Tour a 5 out of 10 and 2 stars out of 5.
Nick, give us your thoughts
Well,
on
it sounds
Trolls
like
2.
you had a good, happy sing and song time. I guess this is a bad time for me to ask what your favorite cover was in that movie.
Um, what what was my favorite cover?
Right.
Oh yeah. Um, um, I guess the final song was the best. Me, I guess.
Okay. Cool. Uh, I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting Infinity Guitar. That's pretty hilarious to me. Might have to watch this movie now. I was gonna watch it for this podcast, but I didn't. So there's that. But yeah, I have not seen the first Trolls. Wasn't really super hot on this sequel. But that's because I wasn't really into the first one anyway. That's why I haven't seen it. But looks like I dodged a bullet.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Nick,
What?
do you have anything else you want to say about Trolls?
I like Troll Hunters. That's
Yes, Troll
those are my trolls.
Hunters. Haha.
Hashtag not my trolls. That's quote Iron Man
Troll Hunters.
1993.
That's a good dream. That's a great. Oh, Troll
April
Hunters is
21.
amazing.
uh, so it's not the worst DreamWorks sequel, which is good, because I've actually seen Shrek 3. But yeah, I'm not sure what to think about that. Is this popular enough, or do you think this will be popular enough to do a threequel?
Well, if well, yeah, if they can think of a decent script, then yeah, if they can make the third movie the best of the trilogy, I wouldn't mind.
I don't know if they'll be able to. It's hard to pull off 3 being the best. It's just very hard.
Well, they have done it.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so. Like
they
once.
they did it last year with How to Train Your Dragon. Remember?
Yeah, but again, that's once out of like the 4 or 5 times that they've tried.
I'll give. Do I just. So.
You always try to go for the threequel. Doesn't look like they're very good at that. But either way, maybe they've learned, like you said.
Well, I think
Uh,
Kung Fu Panda
maybe
3
they
and
can.
Madagascar 3 were good.
Madagascar 3 is okay. That's it's the Europe one, right? I
Yeah.
did watch that one. It was nice that they actually got back to the zoo. Um, but yeah, no, I really liked that one. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, it's better than the first one. Okay, either way, I'm wrong. It's fine. Uh, but yeah, no, I don't really have a whole lot to say about Trolls. It looks way too glittery for me to take seriously or to be something that I would check out. But I mean, if you guys say it's worth it, I might do it, or I might just do it just because I'm bored. Lord knows I've got nothing else to do, so either way.
Alright, my thoughts on Trolls 2. It's average! Okay, it is, yeah, it is. This is very, just, I'm just shocked. I am shocked that it's average. The reviews are positive enough. They're like saying it's fun. Kids will love it. And I guess this movie, I think the series is made for like very young children. I mean, look at the character designs. You can tell it's made for a much younger demographic, which is fine. But like, at least put some adult stuff in it, and they do. Like, it's a family film, I suppose. But that's like saying, um, a Barney movie is a family film. Well, I know you can't compare them. One is made for preschoolers, but anyway, I'm moving on from my weird comparison. Ignore that. The first one I don't like. I remember seeing it in cinemas. I was very disappointed in DreamWorks. I actually only seen it once, and I remember like a good bit of it, but not like a whole lot. The second one, I had very low expectation, and I just said, DreamWorks, you really have dropped the ball. I will admit the animation is good, but but um I'll talk about the film. Um, Trolls 2, I'm shocked that it's actually just fine. It's average. The song with the giraffe type troll, I forget his name, and sorry if I spoil the movie, but I'm sorry. It's on digital, so just watch it there. It's free. Well, if you're using Kim Cartoon. I did like that song, and I suppose the final song was nice, even if I think it goes on way too long. But the animation is very beautiful, and some of the jokes were actually really really funny, and they were actually quite genuinely funny. But the story, it's dull. It's just really it's very rushed when I think about it because it goes by very very fast, and it's just very fast. I mean, it's meant to be on for an hour and 30 minutes, and I guess it does feel like that, but looking back on it, it only feels like an hour. And that's not good pacing. That just shows that it's really rushed, and it's just I find the story dull. It's just bland. Like it's really just it's so I've seen the type of it's just so dull. I wasn't invested with the world and just the music choices when they play pop songs all the time. You just go shut up. This was my biggest problem with Lego Movie 2 last year. The amount of pop songs and jokes and jokes and jokes. It got on my nerves so much that I didn't like it. I suppose this movie's on par with Lego Movie 2. I'll give the credit. I'll say Lego 2 is better than Trolls 2 because I mean I do actually like the first Lego movie, but I do think this movie has better jokes. I'm sorry. But anyway, moving on from weird comparison. I really need to stop making weird comparisons, don't I? But yeah, I'm
No, it's
sorry.
okay.
But oh, Jesus, I keep fucking up my sentences. But anyway, the story it's just bland. I just didn't care for what was going on. The animation is really good. I think DreamWorks put a lot of effort into it, but I have to give credit. I think DreamWorks did put a lot of effort into the animation. I mean, at least like with Shrek 3, that was the worst DreamWorks sequel ever made, and I think the animation is horrible. At least the animation here, it was actually really nice to look at. It's very vibrant and very colorful. Um, and I will admit, the first Trolls does have good animation, even though Panda 3 has much better animation than Trolls. But yeah, with that said, I don't think this is the best looking DreamWorks movie. I don't know if it's either Abominable or Hidden World or one of the or Kung Fu Panda 3 being the best looking DreamWorks film. I'll just have to think about it. It's all about colors. Oh, Jesus Christ, I have a weird pronunciation. It's all about colors. Colors. It's all about colors. And what you have the most colorful. You have so many colors. When you have so many good colors, it's your best looking visuals. But yeah, the animation's good. The music choices are it's just dumb. It's just so stupid. It's just like they got annoying. The characters, Branch, Poppy, I didn't give a crap. I suppose the best villain. Oh Jesus Christ! The best character in the movie is Queen Barb. She's not great. I don't think she's great, but like I do like her design. I guess I like her character. I think what really weirds me out is that why are people saying this is an Infinity War ripoff? In a way, I can see that, but like I really just can't see. I just can't see anything in common with this and Avengers Infinity War. I'm sorry, I just can't see it. Maybe I'm just blind to the obvious. Because I do love Avengers Infinity War. Infinity War rocks. It's amazing. Great way to set up a big finale, which is Avengers Endgame, which came out a few days before my 15th birthday. And we're nearly at my 16th birthday, so boom. Yeah, and I just can't see what's so in common between this and Infinity War. Like, maybe if someone does a comparison, I'll have to watch that video if that happens, and maybe I'll see it. I'm like, oh my god, that's such a good point. But yeah, other than that, I just can't see any similarities between this and Infinity War, especially since they both have completely different tones altogether. But while I think Queen Barb is a cool villain. I just don't like how she's handled, and I don't like the plot twist where it's just so like out of nowhere, and I just don't think it really fits. I mean, I get like it's a kids film, like let's face it, this is more kiddie than say How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Abominable even, but which was a great movie, Abominable. I loved Abominable, but yeah, overall, I and yeah, it's just a very, I just don't like the twist, but overall, Trolls 2. So I'm honestly starting to, I'm struggling to remember it because it's very forgettable, and it's just very, it's kind of boring. I don't know if it makes sense though, because boring means the movie drags, and I said the movie was rushed. I don't think I can say that. It was boring, and it was rushed. I don't know. I just don't think it sounds right. But yeah, I'm going to pass
Well,
off.
I think what you mean is that you weren't invested in what was going on. Uh, Even though it was super rushed, you didn't really care, and I get that. That makes a lot of sense
I suppose.
because of the way the movie is structured.
Hmm.
I will say that, like, being a person that hasn't seen the movie, I think that the Infinity War comparisons are just inherent because it was like the biggest movie to come out last year, and this is a movie with a sort of similar villain plot. So, I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the comparison is, I think, valid at least.
Okay, fair enough. I'll
So,
just say this. I won't say it's boring. I just didn't care. But I know a lot of big fans of Trolls are gonna love it. Kids are gonna love it, and I guess it's something that a family will enjoy. If you love it, that's awesome. That's really good. This is a person that doesn't like the first one at all, but this is a step up, thankfully. But that's not saying it's a good movie. I honestly just can't see Shrek the Third being dethroned as the worst DreamWorks sequel, and I couldn't see this happening with it. I just couldn't think. I didn't think it was going to be horrible. But I just thought it was going to be really just not very good. And it is kind of what I thought it would be. It isn't very good. Better than what I thought it would be. But it's just painfully average. But it's far from bad. I'll just say that. It's average. It's just mediocre. It's just fine. So yeah, I mean, if Boss Baby 2 can be on par, I'll be happy. But I mean, I will give the Boss Baby credit. I do think the animation, as crap as it is, it does look better than Shrek 3's animation. I mean, come on, it was 10 years, so let's give it credit. Let's be fair. But
yeah,
Oh yeah.
but
I
yeah. Oh
was
my god,
literally
I'm
about
sorry.
to
I'm
say
really
that.
sorry about my stuttering, people. I don't know what I want to say. But yeah, I'm gonna finish my thoughts on Trolls 2. It's average. It's just meh. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry. I just don't give a crap. Okay.
So
With that said,
let me guess. Let me just ask you a quick question. Is it more average than Toy Story 4, or is it better?
I think it's more average than Toy Story 4. I do think Toy Story 4 is average, but I do think it's at least like entertaining at best. So that's why I gave that a 6 out of 10. I know I said in my Oscars video I was thinking of lowering down my rating, but I mean, I'll be kind. I'll keep it at a 6, but I am thinking of I might give Toy Story 4 a rewatch. I might see if it because I'm kind of starting to be like that attitude where I really think the movie is not good at all. So maybe I'll give Toy Story 4 a rewatch, but I'll say Toy Story 4 was better than Trolls 2 because I mean, Toy Story 4 at least had heart, if you get me.
Okay, makes sense.
But I'm going to finish my thoughts on Trolls 2, the World Tour, giving it a 5 out of 10. It's average. Okay, so, moving on. So we have two more topics, two more big topics. We are going to talk about the Bad Boys movies. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. So, Harry, would you like to give your thoughts on the first Bad Boys? And then after that, you can give your thoughts on the second one, and then after that, you can give your thoughts on Bad Boys for Life.
Oh, sure. The entire trilogy in one. Okay. Well, happy 25th anniversary, Bad Boys. This trilogy is as old as me. Yeah. The first movie being released is all the way back in 1995, and I have to say, the first Bad Boys may be the best Michael Bay movie ever made, and because I mean, I mean, let's face it, it's leaps and bounds better than his Transformers movies because at least he's not overly complicating things with the first Bad Boys. It's a simple and an epic action movie, and I think I think the chemistry between Mike and Marcus, yeah, is just is flawless. I mean, yeah, these two feel more like brothers than pals, and I do think the climax of the first movie is the best is the best thing Michael Bay has ever done. No competition, and as for Bad Boys 2, it's certainly a step down from its predecessor because it's far too long. It's 2.5 hours. I mean, that's the length of of Michael Bay's, well, some of his longest Transformers movies, and you full on feel that in the first half. Like, I mean, the movie Bad Boys 2 doesn't find its footing until the second half. But I mean, and I guess because the second half is when it does get funnier, and the final scene with them in the pool is the maybe the best part. But I mean, the rat sex. I mean, really, Michael Bay, you put in disturbing humor like that. I mean, I'm sorry, that is unacceptable. He did the exact same thing with Transformers, so thank God he wasn't involved with Bad Boys for Life, the most recent Bad Boys movie, and the final installment of the trilogy, and not having Michael Bay was a bonus. This may be the best of the Bad Boys trilogy, and yeah, right, it's thankfully far shorter than the second movie, with a runtime of just 2 hours and 5 minutes. So it's far better paced, and this is easily the darkest and most mature of the three. Like in the beginning alone, when Mike is shot, my God, you that immediately sets the dark tone and makes you know and lets you know you're in for, well, you're in for a different movie than the first two. This is where shit gets real in the story, and I and I and I think there's this chase scene which involves a helicopter towards the end. I think that action scene was the best. I do think the final battle. I think the final battle would be my one uh, flaw with the movie. I think that got a little too violent and too graphic. And gory. I do think could have had a they could have put in a little more fun in that part, but and also the ending I think was far too rushed and brushed. But then but the plot twist uh the son of the crime lady who they are going after is Mike's son. My God, I never would have guessed that in a million years. And so yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if this was the final Bad Boys movie, but I mean, if we do get a Bad Boys 4, we'll most likely have to wait another 17 years for it because that's literally how long Bad Boys for Life was released after Bad Boys 2. But yeah, Bad Boys is overall a decent trilogy. I mean, not one of my favorite trilogies ever, like House of Train Your Dragon, but it's a but yeah, it's a trilogy I'm glad I saw, and I'm thankful that Lee showed me. So yeah, I am going to rate Bad Boys 1 8 out of 10 and 4 stars out of 5. Bad Boys 2 7 out of 10 and 3 out of 5. And I'm going to rate Bad Boys for Life 8 out of 10 and 4 stars out of 5.
All right. Nick, would you like to give your thoughts on the Bad Boys movies?
Nice.
Nick, would you like to give your thoughts on the Bad Boys movies?
All right. Well, I guess I can talk about this just a little bit. I've seen the first two Bad Boys movies, but it's been a while. I watched them years ago. Uh, it was very much a part of my childhood, as growing up with those movies. I really like the first one, very solid, and I think you're right, Harry, that it is peak Michael Bay. He never gets better than he is in that movie. And before he ruined Transformers,
I know, right?
he made Bad Boys, and it was great. Second one, I don't remember a whole lot about. I do remember liking it. It is a little bit too long, but I thought it was fun. I actually, for a really long time, thought the second one was funnier than the first one, but I haven't seen them in a while, so I might be wrong about that. As far as the third one's concerned, I was really trepidatious about, or really hesitant to see this movie because it is a sequel to an older property, and it is 17 years after the fact. So I'm wondering if it is worth it. It sounds like it is. It's not directed by Michael Bay, which is good in my book because I don't think he has it anymore. But so I might check this one out just to see how it goes. Harry, I did want to ask you because you said that there wasn't going to be a fourth one for 17 years. Do you not think that this movie kind of put a little bit more juice into the franchise to where there can be another one in the next like 2 to 3 years, like they did with Fast and the Furious?
Well, yeah, they'll most likely have more confidence in the series. Yeah, after the third movie's positive reception.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking too. Okay, so that, and if they do make more of them, I'm way more down with this being a trilogy than Fast and the Furious at this point. So it kind of depends on how that whole thing shakes out. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely give this one a watch once I'm able to, or once I get an opportunity. Really just need all of these movies to come to Netflix, and then I will watch all of them. Maybe.
Fair enough. The first one's on Netflix in the UK and Ireland. I don't know if it's on American Netflix. The second and third are online. The third movie, it's online now. You can download it. So yeah, boom. It's out on Blu-ray in a few weeks in America. It's coming out on Blu-ray next month in the UK and
Uh-huh.
Ireland. So yeah. So yeah. Over. Do you have anything else you want to say, Nick, before I give my thoughts?
Go for it, dude.
Alright, I just want to make sure, I just don't want to speak over someone, I just don't want to speak before someone else has want to finish their sentence. Okay, the first Bad Boys. I seen the movie on TV, like I had seen bits and pieces of it, and I remember it being funny, like my dad and brother were watching it, it was something like my parents, I think, have seen, they would have found the first two films funny. I do remember watching bits of the second one on TV. And I remember it being alright. I do remember being disturbed by the rat sex. It's disgusting. And there is one scene that I actually skip, but we'll talk about that when I get to the second one. Um yeah, Bad Boys 1 is really good. I really love the storyline. It's a buddy cop film. It is a buddy cop film. It's like Beverly Hills Cop, except it's more of a two main characters than Beverly Hills Cop, as that just has Eddie Murphy. This is Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I think the heart of the film is the bond between Mike and Marcus. It's so good. The connections are so organic. It's so it's lifelike. I know it's weird to say it's lifelike, but like it's so good. Like the way they interact with each other, the way they do their dialogue, the way they connect. It's so good. Like they fit so well as like buddies, and like I agree with you, Harry. It's very brother-like, as in they trust each other. As like they said, we die together, we ride together, bad boys for life, which they do say in the third movie. It's really, it's so strong with a bond, and when you have a bond as strong as that, especially since you can tell Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are having loads of fun filming it. Like you can tell just through by the acting they're having good fun with it. And it's really good. And when you have a strong bond like that and two really good actors doing it, it's so good and it really executes itself well. The action is great. I love the car sequences. Like the beginning is just hilarious. It's just so funny. And I love the climax. It's awesome, and I do like the ending. It's just tons of fun. I know it's an adult film. It's a grown up film. Yes, I wouldn't say it's a family film. I mean, yeah, you could say families can watch it because I mean, obviously, parents would have to be around the kid, but like I loved the first one. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Like I don't think it's like I wouldn't call it like a masterpiece. I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece of cinema. Like I know some people will, but I do think it's very good. Like it's very close. And I definitely will rewatch it again. I am considering buying the entire trilogy on Blu-ray or just buying the third movie on Blu-ray. But that might be a while because of the coronavirus. But I really like the first one. My only issue is the pacing for the second act. It's just I don't mind them doing character development with the characters talking, and I don't mind that. It just it's very very long, and it does get a bit it does lose its freshness. Like you do get a bit bored, and it does kind of draw itself out. Maybe it could, I know it is kind of I've said this for loads of live action films that they tend to drag, and maybe I just need to watch more movies that are like more than an hour and a half or just 2 hours. But I do think the second act it does drag, and it does definitely drag. But and the villain is very one dimensional, and he's very very forgettable. But other than that, the other characters are good. The captain's good. The female character is good. I'm sorry I can't remember their names. But it's a really good movie. It's very fun. It's a great movie. It's really fun. Like I said, it's just awesome. And for that, I agree with Harry on this. I am going to give the first Bad Boys an 8 out of 10. But now on to my thoughts on the sequel, Bad Boys 2. Yeah, I agree. It's hands down the weakest of the trilogy. I agree. It's just way too long. I think 2 hours and 30 minutes. It just drags itself, and it just gets boring really, and it drags and it drags and it drags and it drags. It's just so slow. It just bores me. It just really. Yeah, it's just even when I was first watching it, because I would give the third one a watch because I was recommended to actually watch these movies. I even almost like I was so bored with Bad Boys 2 for a lot of it. That's not to say it's a bad movie by any means. I just don't think it's great, and I just think the pacing kills it for me. It drags. The humor is really good. The pool scene at the end is hilarious. The dog scene ruining the pool is just hilarious. I love dogs. It's awesome when you see a dog literally just destroy a swimming pool and it pushes Marcus into the ocean. It's awesome. It's really really funny. It's just gas. The villain, well, there wasn't really a villain in this one from what I remember, but the villain was okay. He was kind of one-dimensional. It was just, I think for the most part, it was okay. Like it was good enough as a sequel. Like it's decent. Like it's pretty good. Like I like it, but it's just not amazing. It's not great. Like, it's not like the first one. You had a simple buddy cop story. Here, it tries to be different. And another issue I have, you can you can say it to me in the comments. It's an invalid criticism, all you want, but for me, the rat sex is just, it's disturbing. I literally have to close my eyes when seeing it. It's gross. And the scene where they're in the hospital, well, I think it was a hospital, when they're going through the corpse and you see the guy's brain fall out. I'm sorry, I literally had to skip a few seconds of it. It's just fucking gross. It's just, ugh, it just makes me sick. And I know, like, it's a comedy, and I know it's an adult film, but, like, I mean, come on. I mean, will adults really find someone's brain falling out funny? It just makes me feel so uncomfortable. But other than that, the chemistry is still good, the humor is still good, the action is pretty good, the climax is pretty good, and I do like it. It's good enough. It's a decent sequel. It's not as good as the first one. It's definitely the weakest of the trilogy. But I like it enough. It's good. It's decent. And for that, I give Bad Boys 2 a 7 out of 10. Now on to Bad Boys 3. I don't know why they didn't just call it Bad Boys 3. I think calling it Bad Boys for Life, it's a very conclusive type of title. Like, you can tell by a title by that it's trying to be a conclusion. And it does feel very conclusive. But other than that, this movie's awesome. I saw it back on January. Was it this movie? Hang on, let me check on my calendar. I just can't remember what date I saw the third film. I think it was January 18th. But when I did see the movie, my friend Tig wanted, his family asked me if I'd like to go see Bad Boys 3 with them, and I then said, sure, I'd love to. And I love Bad Boys 3. It's awesome. The story is yeah, it was January 18th I saw it. The story is really fun. It's back to the same old funness of the original. And like the first few minutes when you get to the villains, oh boy, shit gets real. The stakes are higher. It gets more graphic. It's more violent than the first two movies. The first two movies had their violence, but the third one is just like, that is just like, wow, it's brutal. It's not I wouldn't call it gruesome. But I suppose the final battle is a bit too graphic, but fair enough if you think that, Harry. But I really like the final battle. I do think the final battle does kind of drag, and I do think some sections are a little slow. But other than that, they're my only issues with the film. And the villains, they could have been developed a lot more. There's not a lot to them. I like the plot twist with the murderer is Mike's son. That is a really cool plot twist. It was handled so deeply, and I really didn't see that coming. I really like the story. The team is good. The characters that like died in it, it's shocking. Like, it's so shocking on how they execute it, and it's just so it's dark. It's some dark, violent shit. Which is really, really good, and I really loved how they handled it. The helicopter scene, like what Harry said, it's awesome. It's just incredible, and the scenery, the shots of the landscapes, the cities, the colors. My God, this movie on a visual level, especially on a 1080p quality, especially on a cinematic big screen, or should I say cinema big screen, it's stunning. This movie is gorgeous to look at. Just everything, it's so colorful. Like, when you watch the movie, and you see all these beautiful shots and landscapes, you just go, wow, holy crap, these visuals blow the first two movies looks out of the water. It's so vibrant. It's so awesome. It's just it's just fun. But I do think the other characters could have maybe been developed, maybe a little more. I did say that in my original review, but upon second viewing, maybe they could have just used a little more development. But yeah, I loved Bad Boys 3, and Mike and Marcus is chemistry. I think it's the best here. It's not really a chemistry because they aren't really with each other for most of it, and they do have some really good comedy in this, especially in the plane sequence. But yeah, the comedy's great. It's awesome. It's a very satisfying ending to the series, and yeah, I could sort of see your point about the ending maybe going a little too rushed, but I thought the ending had fine pacing. But yeah, my God, wow, Bad Boys 3 or AKA Bad Boys for Life, it's awesome and definitely a great film. It's really, 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 really good. And it's a very strong 8 out of 10 for me, and I'd love to buy it on Blu-ray. Just can you imagine this movie's visuals on a Blu-ray quality? It would look stunning.
Well, yeah, I'll say, I I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it should look even better on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm really looking. I will definitely get this film on Blu-ray. I want to get it on Blu-ray because I'd like to. I mean, my family, my parents would like to see Bad Boys 3. So yeah, I don't see why not. Definitely I'd say it's the third best film of 2020. Even though I don't like Call of the Wild as much as I did, I would still call it the best film of 2020. I do really love it, but I will admit my thoughts are kind of starting to decline. But I will watch. I've seen Call of the Wild twice. I watched it again recently, but I still really liked it. I just didn't love it as much as I did on first viewing. But yeah, Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life, 8 out of 10. And now, and we have spent an hour talking about Onward, Trolls, and Bad Boys. We get to the main topic of this podcast. Now I know we should have done this earlier, but we saved the best for last. We're doing a nostalgic throwback. If anyone was a big fan of this franchise or this series as a whole in your childhood, this is going to be nostalgic for you. I have a lot to say. I loved this series as a kid. So, let's give it up. We are about to discuss Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Harry, would you like to give your thoughts on Dino Thunder, and would you like to start off giving your thoughts with your experience with the Power Rangers franchise in your childhood?
Power Rangers roll, the forces evil thunder, Dino Thunder. Yeah, yes, yeah, and Power Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Well, I yeah, right. Power Rangers was one of the one of the franchises that, well, they were some of my idols as a kid. I mean, like just like Pokemon and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Wild Force is the most nostalgic to me personally because I still have the Megazord action figure for that one, but Dino Thunder I would be the second, and I'm so thankful that Lee got me back into watching Dino Thunder again and reliving my childhood because I was just 9 when the show aired back in 2004, and yeah, Dino Thunder for as a Power Rangers TV show is a roaring success and without a doubt my second favorite TV show in the Power Rangers franchise. Yeah, I do love how relatable they made the Rangers here. They are high school students. I mean, that's similar to Peter Parker. You know, he's struggling to balance his normal life while at the same time being a hero and taking on the responsibilities of a hero, and that's what these kids are doing. Kira and Ethan and Connor. Yeah, Kira would be my crush of Dino Thunder. My she would be my personal favorite of the three, and she's the school singer and guitar player, and she doesn't take shits of whenever Connor treats her like crap. She can certainly stand up for herself, and she is the first to meet Mesagog in his lair, and she's the first.
Where
to
are the Dino
and
gems?
oh yeah, Dino Jones exactly, and and Ethan, he's uh the comic relief of the three, and yeah, he is hilarious, and I love how whenever he says a line, what he says happens in the very next moment, and he is the most. And he is the most gentlemanly to Akira of the guys, and Connor. I think Connor has one of the best suits, being the red suit. But I do think he starts out as a unlikable high school jock who, but who needs to learn to become a better person. To which, thankfully, he does. That's not a bad character arc for him, and their trainer, Danny,
Tommy.
he
Tommy
Tommy,
Oliver.
sorry,
That's his name,
yeah,
Tommy.
sorry,
Danny?
forgot his name, but yeah, but yeah,
No,
Tom,
we're not talking about Wild Force here, Harry.
oh
Not
yeah,
Danny.
oh
It's
yeah,
Tommy.
sorry, yeah, I meant Tommy from Dino Thunder, but yeah, Tommy was, well, being Tommy was once a Black Ranger, and yeah, I love how he's a original mentor character. He's not just a old fashioned old sensei like you would see in kung fu movies. No, he's younger, and I also love Haley. She's their other mentor, and she's like a mother to them, always looking out for the Rangers, and also me, 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 and as for the villains, yeah, Mesagog looks terrific. Thank God they made him a costume and didn't CGI him, but
Huh.
and his and my God, his voice acting and his entire plan to uh to just annihilate the human race. It's just, it's so over the top shallow. I mean, you'd think I would hate this kind of villain, but I just love it whenever he's on screen
Your
because,
criticism is useless.
well, yeah, I know. Oh, awesome impression because of, well, yeah, because well, yeah, because his over the topness makes him that likable as a villain, and Elsa, the second in command. Yeah, yeah, she is the most deceptive of the villains. I love how she impersonates Principal Randall at the high school, and she's even the most three dimensional. I love her change of heart towards the end, and I, even though I personally like Elsa from Frozen better. Sorry, but the weakest of
Boo! I'm on.
yeah, sorry about that. But the weakest of the three villains would easily be Zeltrax. Yeah, he's just the henchman, who, and that's all there is to him. He and he's literally looks like, and he just looks like a clone of Mesagog, only with a helmet on. That's how unoriginal his design is, and though the suit power ups in this show are beyond badass, and especially the theme song. The theme song is is the is catchy as hell and electrifying, and the Megazord fights that yeah, they look as the Megazord fights are as entertaining as you can get, even if you can tell it's just a bunch of guys in suits are fighting on a mini set, and the some of the CGI does look fake and laughable, especially the CGI T-Rex in the pilot episode.
It's
I mean,
fucking
what,
laughable.
I know, right? And anybody could see that T-Rex isn't real, even kids. Why not just have a practical animatronic robotic T-Rex like they used in Jurassic Park. That would have been far better, but oh well. But overall, yeah, Dino Thunder. It, yeah, yeah. I has a I had a ton of fun reliving this show. And one final thing I forgot to mention. I do think this show is overly drawn out. I don't think it needed to be 38 episodes. It could have easily have been shortened to 25 because there are because it's 38 episodes, there are a ton of filler episodes that you have to sit through. But the other 25, I think, are the major ones. But yeah, Dino Thunder rocks overall, and I would rate Dino Thunder a strong 8 out of 10 and 4 stars out of 5.
What do you think of Trent, Harry? Would you like to give your thoughts on him? Because he's awesome.
Oh, oh yeah, Trent. How could I forget Trent, the White Ranger? Yeah, his his storyline was one of the most interesting and dramatic in the show, where he had to overcome his evil nature. He was, and in an episode where he was battling himself. That is some that was a deep fight scene, and one of my favorites in the entire show. So yeah, Trent. So yeah, Trent would be what one of my favorite characters. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Lee.
And Cassidy and Devon. I love the episode where they have the personalities Jesus Christ, alternated by the meteor. And I love how Devon's personality is completely different. And when he starts dancing in Cyberspace Cafe.
Oh yeah, that yeah, that always gets a laugh out of me. Yeah, Cassie and Devon. They are comic reliefs that are actually necessary, that give the show some light-hearted moments to prevent it from being too dark. Yeah.
So, I guess that's all you want to say, or if there's anything else you want to say.
Oh, 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 oh no, I'm good.
Alright, good thoughts, Harry. Nick, give your thoughts on Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder is it's a pretty good Power Ranger series. I will just go ahead and open with that. It is very much a back to basics sort of regular teenagers with attitude fighting evil forces with dinosaur power, rockin' thrill ride. I do like it a lot. I understand that it's like one of the more popular of the Power Ranger series, but personally, it doesn't rank that high for me in terms of like the series as a whole. There are other seasons that are far better, but there are also a good chunk of seasons that are a lot worse than it. It is better than most and is pretty solid. I love that we brought Tommy Oliver back into the fold. I will never forget the first time I saw that on television eating a bowl of cereal on Saturday morning. It was great. And I do love that we finally put Tommy into this mentorship role that he never actually leaves even to this day. It's so good. I love all of the characters. They're all really well done or well thought out and put together. Connor isn't the best of Red Rangers in my opinion, and I also don't even think his suit's that great. I think the Triassic suit is a lot better when he does the power up, and he's got one of the more goofy battleizers because he's got the spring loads on his arms. But either way, I digress. Still a pretty solid series. Mesogog is one of the more threatening villains, but I think I say that because he followed Lothor in Ninja Storm, which was one of the
It's
absolute
Homer!
worst villains of Power Rangers, and it is terrible. Seriously. You watch that series in the first episode, Power Rangers? No one told me there would be Power Rangers. You compare that guy to the guy who goes, yes, I will eat you alive with my face. So good. It's so good. It's also got some of the better
Traitor.
team up episodes that we've seen here, and yeah, I just think it's really good, really classic stuff. Cassidy and Devin are good. Bulk and Skull stand in. They have great comedic timing together and in relation to the Rangers. The morph call is awesome, even though it's a little bit too Japanese for my liking than a lot of these other things have been. And the theme song is, above all else, like one of the most iconic theme songs in Power Rangers history. Don't at me. This show also has one of the better Sixth Rangers in Trent, the White Ranger. I do love his arc. His suit is the best suit on the show. It looks absolutely great. The only thing that possibly can beat it is the Brachio suit because of the black on gold or gold on black power balance, but I think the white on black actually works a lot better, and the shield and power up are just the best. So cool. Um, but yeah, I love Trent having to, first being corrupted by the Dino Gem, overcoming it, and then having to go up against his father, who is also being corrupted, and it's got a good Jekyll and Hyde dynamic. It is a very, very solid show. I love it. I will go back and probably watch it here now soon, since we're talking about it, getting me all excited. As far as saying it's too long, I mean, yes and no. You got to think that when this show came out in 2004, it's not as long as it could be, and it's actually shorter than most Power Ranger series. And as far as your complaint about filler, Harry, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Filler comes with the territory when you're talking about Power Rangers. I've been talking about it for the past 5 years. Believe me, I know. So, they're just my general thoughts on the show. But it's overall one of the better seasons. Not great in my opinion, but not terrible either. A little above average. I'd have to go with an 8 out of 10 as far as rating systems are concerned.
All right. Actually, yeah, it's about the 38 episodes. I mean, yeah, it is a lot. 38 episodes is a lot for one TV series, but you do have to
Well,
remember it's really, really old. Like, it came out when I was born, and TV shows back in the 2000s, like, say, Scooby Doo, SpongeBob, like, cartoons and all, they would have been, like, what, 50 episodes a season? But I mean, the original Mighty Morphin apparently has 155 episodes, and that's like all three seasons of that together. But
separated over
yeah,
3 seasons, yeah.
uh, yeah. I mean, fair enough. If you think 38 is a lot. I mean, yeah, I'll admit there is a lot of episodes, but I mean, you do have to remember, like, it's really old. I mean, if it was made now, it would be much shorter. Like, they'd probably, if it was a Netflix series, it would probably be divided into like 5 seasons or 3 seasons or however long. But like, considering you say a lot of it does have filler, do you think the Ninja Storm team up Harry is a filler episode, or do you think it adds to the storyline?
Um, well, which episode? Sorry.
The Ninja Storm team up, you know, the one where they have, you know, the 2-part episode.
Oh yeah. No, I thought that one was necessary. Don't get me wrong.
Fair enough. Um, all right, my thoughts. I'll give my thoughts, my experience with the franchise as a whole. As a little kid, as a very young age, this franchise was my shit. I was a enormous fan of Power Rangers as a little kid. I was obsessed with it. I owned a lot of the figurines. I owned lots of the DVDs. I actually had a lot of DVDs, not just Power Ranger DVDs, but like DVDs in general, like films and all. I used to buy covers of DVDs, and I used to cut out the characters from the cover so I could like play with them, and then I'd usually get the discs scratched. So my auntie bought me the box set of Dino Thunder when I was like I believe I was only 5 or 4. I'm going to. I think it's safe to say I was only 5 years old, and she strictly said I have not to get those discs scratched because, well, on in the stores, I checked on Amazon. It's like £29, and I can probably assume it was like very expensive back when it came out, around 2008. But like, I think I got the box set when I was like 5 years old. I'm assuming. Well, you got a nice collection there, Nick. But yeah, nah, I owned almost every single figure as a little kid. It was my childhood. Dino Thunder was the first one I remember. I think it's the first show I've ever watched in my entire life. Um, hang on, sorry, it's just a lot. I'm just getting a lot of notifications on the computer. But yeah, it has a very special place in my heart. It's very nostalgic to me. It's very, like, I can relate to these characters. And yeah, like, the franchise as a whole was my childhood. If you thought I was in my childhood I was a big fan of like Kung Fu Panda film and all that, and How to Train Your Dragon. But like, as a very young kid, I was more of a fan of the Power Ranger series than I was for, like, say, How to Train Your Dragon and Kung Fu Panda. But that was only because like Power Rangers was much more popular. I have very fond memories of others, like, Jungle Fury, which is my second favorite. RPM, Mystic Force, even Operation Overdrive, even though that one's crap. But yeah, then 2013 came. The franchise didn't really appeal to me anymore. I just kind of grew out of it, and I think every fan really grew out of it. And I actually got a comment on my Dino Thunder review recently saying that he actually stopped watching it at the same age as I was stopped watching Power Rangers. So I was around 9. I was turning 9, and come to think of it, I was a very young age when I was lost interest in the series. But recently, I asked a few people if we remembered Power Rangers like as a whole. Dino Thunder, we all went crazy of nostalgia. Even my older brother has nostalgia, which I was very surprised by because I sent him a picture of Connor, and he just asked, "Is that Power Rangers?" And then he goes, "Is that Connor?" I was like, "Yeah," and then we all just started he just started saying, "I'll never forget them. They're the best Power Rangers ever because they're the first ones we remember." But yeah, I grew out of the franchise for like in 2013. I got rid of my DVDs because I didn't really need them, but that includes the Dino Thunder box set. But I have to admit, despite my age, I'm kind of starting to become interested in it again. I don't want to be obsessed with it, but I really liked Dino Thunder on rewatch. This was amazing on rewatch. I love the storyline. It's very relatable. It has a good balance of comedy, maturity, and it's very fun. It's what you'd expect for a show that was made for like children. I really like the tone of it. It's got some dark moments, some deep moments, some really funny moments, and it's just a lot of fun. And I really like the storyline. Connor, he's a childhood idol for me. I loved this character as a little kid, and and even on rewatch, I really think he's an amazing character. He's an amazing lead. I really loved his suit as a little kid. The Red Rangers were always my favorite as a very young boy, hence why red is my favorite color. He's really good. I like his character arc of starting out being unlikable, which makes it realistic in a way. And I like the scene where, he's talking shit about Principal Randall, then Principal Randall is right behind him. It's very funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Besides, she's a woman, and women are just grown-up girls. Need I say more? I think you've said enough now, Mr.
good.
McKnight.
It's so good. It sets up his character arc so well.
Yeah, it's so funny. Principal Randall, I have heard such great things about you. And Ethan James, my God, he is hilarious. Like, he's actually a comic relief, but I think they actually take him quite seriously, because in the episode Bully for Ethan, yeah, he enters the generic, the bully has to deal with a bully, but I like how it was handled. They actually made him quite serious, and I know he's obviously the Blue Ranger and all that, but like, I liked how they balanced comedy and like seriousness with him. And Kira, she's a babe. She's awesome. I liked her suit. She's a really good character. Very good in the SPD special, but I'll talk about that maybe in a review. I am considering reviewing those 2 episodes. But yeah, I liked SPD. I just didn't like it as much as this one. But yeah, back onto what I was saying. She's good. I like Kira. I like her suit. Same with Ethan. His suit is pretty cool. I like Trent. His character arc is amazing. You genuinely feel bad for him when he's over the control of the white Dino gem, and it's some deep stuff when you think about it. It's very powerful and it's very, very strong, and I really like what they did with it. I think he's a really, really good character. He's awesome. Love his suit. I'm not a big fan of his super Dino mode suit. It just looks kind of messy. But you know, it's all right. Tommy Oliver, he's really good. I like his character. I like his brachial suit. I think it's really nice. I love all the suits in this. I really like him. Haley's good. I like her character. I agree with you, Harry. She is like a motherly character. She has that kind of mentality. And I like how she's the owner of the cyberspace cafe. It's really, really cool. Then obviously Cassidy and Devon, they are very funny and they are important to the plot. Like they really do add a lot of comedy to the storyline. And I think it's great to have comedy in a show like this to avoid it, you know, from going like dark. But I really like it. Now onto the villains. I'll start off by Elsa. I'm sorry, I think she is much better than Elsa from Frozen. Elsa from Frozen is terrible. Maybe not terrible, but she is just... I'm sorry, but no, she is not a good character. It's just the same generic Disney princess that I've seen millions of times before, and I just don't care. And I mean, Elsa here, she's like a villain, and like she actually has a bit of... She's unique, you know, she's not just the same as every other female villain. Okay, maybe she is, but like, I really like what they did with her character. And I do like the plot twist with the finale. Oh, she was an innocent person at one point, then I assume Mesogog just kidnapped her. Which I'll talk about Mesogog in a moment. And I really like how I liked her character. She was good, and I liked her fight scene. She's a really good fighter, and I really liked what they did with her. Mesogog, he's so, I agree, he's so over the top. He's the way he looks, but I'll say this, he's incredible. I am going to go as far, and yes, I will say it, I think Mesogog beats Drago Bloodfist, and maybe even Grimmel the Grizzly. I think so. Hang on, just give me a moment.
You want some butter pop?
Sorry about that. Wait, everyone, you guys still here?
Yeah, still here.
Okay, we're all still here. Sorry about that. Mesogog. I think this guy is awesome. He's really intimidating, but he's so over the top the way he speaks. Like, I think he's funny the way he says useless. You are useless. And I love how when he kidnaps Nikki, he goes, I like your energy. Your DNA is pure evil. I think it's just hilarious, and I wonder what he'd actually say if the show wasn't rated PG. That just makes me wondering. I really like him. I love his design. I think he's just awesome. He's funny. Well, that's only because of my age. He's funny. I love how he speaks. I love the voice Lantern Gaines gave him. I just think it's awesome. Yeah, I must have a creature that is worthy of my newfound power. He's just great. He's just so overboard and over the top, and he is the generic villain, but I really like him, and I'm going to say this, but I think he's better than Drago Bloodfist, and I actually might think he's better than Grimmel. I'll have to think about it. He might even be in my top 5 favorite villains. He's so good. But now on to and the Megazord fights. They're really good, even if you can tell it's just toys on buildings. The morph up sequences are great. The music is awesome. The theme song is so good. Oh crap! I was on mute. Sorry. Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh, we got you.
Yeah, I apologize that I forgot the computer. I forgot I turned the computer sound off because my sister and dad came in. Yeah, I really like Mesogog. He's awesome. The Megazord fights are great. Even if you can tell it's just toys on fake buildings, and the morph up sequences are great, and some of the effects are pretty good. But onto my flaws. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think it's perfect. As nostalgic it is, as wonderful it is, as masterful it is, I don't think the show is perfect. It does have a few flaws, and I have to be honest. I don't think it's perfect. It does have a few issues, which I do take notes from. I think a lot of the effects are laughable. I can accept it for a show for being low budget and from being 2004. It is laughable, and some of the effects just make you laugh. It'll make you laugh how bad some of the effects are. A lot of the transformations are awesome to look at, like the CGI on those, or should I say, the way those scenes are animated are really good. And like I said, the transformations are awesome. Just the CGI, it's just a lot of it is so dated. It's a mixed bag. Some effects are still really cool, but some effects are just laughable. And the CGI dinosaur that chases Tommy in episode 1, I agree. It's just for fuck's sake, it's laughable. It is absolutely, it's fucking laughable. It's just hilarious how it's done, but yeah, it's a mixed bag of effects, but at least you can laugh at how bad the effects are, but I think bad effects can add to flaws. I mean, I have to be honest, it just, they do bring the score down just a little bit. Now on to the weakest villain, Zeltrax. Yes, Zeltrax, I like Zeltrax. I really like his character, I like his voice, I like his design. He is really cool. Oh, I see Mesogog sent a message. If you call me Bunny, I will turn you out like a fish. Oh, well, sorry, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Just get off your ass? I'm only joking. Yeah, Zeltrax. He is pretty...
Easter,
I like
everybody.
him. But the thing that confuses me is, okay, you have a Smitty backstory. He was an old person, then an accident happened, he suffered an accident, then Mesogog found him and rebuilt him, and obviously since then he wants to be so respectful to him. But it makes no sense, because when Tommy Oliver destroys him in the ship, you see Zeltrax be destroyed, and you see the ship get destroyed. No, you do. You see both the ship and Zeltrax be destroyed. And when you see him in Passion of Connor, he obviously he comes back, he survives. How the hell did you survive? How the hell does he survive? There's no explanation. It makes no it makes no sense, and they don't do anything with the Smitty backstory. It's pointless. It serves no. The only purpose it serves is the answer to why Tommy was wondering. It's to answer why Tommy was wondering that Zeltrax was so against him. And I get that, but they do nothing. How does he survive? How does he excuse me, how the hell does he survive a ship? It makes no goddamn, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry, it makes zero sense by that logic, and it's just confusing. How do you survive that? Why are you against Tommy? Yeah, you're against him because of an accident and Mesogog rebuilt you, but just they do nothing with that. And another issue, well, it's not really an issue. Another issue I'd have is as much as I adore the finale, I do think the first part goes by a little too quick. The pace of it goes by sorry. The pacing of the first part of the final episode, it's so quick. It goes by a little too quick. But yeah, I other than that, I don't have much to say about the series other than I think it's really good despite it having some flaws. But it was very nostalgic looking back on this series, and yeah, it'll have a special place in my heart. And even though it has flaws, and even though my personal rating, my nostalgic rating is a 10 out of 10. My critical rating is a 9. I do give it a 9 out of 10 for some for some bad effects and the Zell tracks not really making any sense. But I really loved it. And with that said, I think this is my favorite TV show of all time, mainly because of nostalgia. And it's definitely high up there. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's better than Legends of Awesomeness. I think it's better than Riders of Berk. I think it's even better than Race to the Edge. I'm being honest.
Whoa.
I think it's that good. Well, maybe not as good as Race to the Edge, but well, it's definitely on a similar level. But I really like it, and for that, critically, I'm gonna give Power Rangers Dino Thunder a 9 out of 10. And yeah, but I will talk about the SPD episodes that they're in someday. Well, how do you guys feel about doing that? Like, we could do like a commentary on the episodes history and wormhole for a bit of fun.
Sure. Why not?
I'd like to do that as long as you don't mind me gushing about SPD because I actually think it's better.
It's fine. But yeah, yes. Have you guys got anything else you want to say? Because the podcast's been going on for an hour and a half, so I think we better end it before it goes on too long.
Oh, we're all right. Go watch Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Give us your thoughts in the comments. It's available like on Netflix. You can just watch it.
Yeah. And watch Onward on Disney Plus. In the meantime.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. And watch Trolls 2? Maybe Trolls World Tour? I guess. I don't know.
I watched the Bad Boys Trilogy. But yeah, I'm gonna end the broadcast, and we shall see you guys next time. And skadoosh, you guys. So that all you guys want to say?
Bye.
All
May the power protect you.
All right.
Yeah.
Gonna throw that one out there.
And
Do they ever? I gotta ask. Do they ever say that in the show? I don't recall them ever saying that in Dino.
They do say what Trent
the
says.
power
White
protect
Ranger
you.
Dino Power.
If they don't, then that goes way down. I'm kidding.
Maybe. But remember, guys, movies are us. That's all I've got to say.
All right.
Great.
We'll see you guys next time, and skadoosh. Goodbye, everyone.